Hello, everybody. I'm just gonna get right into it and play the game then. Well, that's different. Oh, okay. I'm usually stuck on stream settings, but now I'm on analytics, so that's something, I guess. Uh, yeah. If I recall, last time in Danganronpa, we we were going to be executed, but we were instead put in the trash. Wait, no. We were instead put in the trash heap or whatever it was, and Alter Ego saved us. Hello. Welcome.
Danganronpa.
And let's do this. Load game, bruh. And there we go. Yeah, it says trial verdict, but I mean, this is very clearly not the trial verdict. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together, and then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. A dream in a dream. No, this isn't a dream. Did you pinch yourself? I could tell, because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in? Yeah. Trash was piled high all across this area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me. And he used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. I have a feeling there's perhaps some strength left, but I don't know. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of there. Well, there's a door. Maybe that's it. And it's locked. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Here we go, indeed. Getting out of here isn't going to be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink? And which ones are an all-around bad idea? Which ones are water and which ones are just very, very clear urine? You never know, I guess. Until you try. Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. Well, if you can survive for 3 days, because you can go about 3 days without water, and like 3 weeks without food. Of course, that's not to say you should starve yourself or just not drink water at all, as that's not good in any way at all, but yeah. But that's still not enough reason to give up, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. Never gonna give you up. After making that proud declaration of independence, the next thing I decided to do was say the N-word. Go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. What did you sleep on? That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left, after not being able to eat or drink. Yeah, man. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky, and it never came. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign, not exactly. Was it another person? What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Wow, that was the garbage chute, right? This is like what you see on the other end of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when Veruca Salt went down it. Something fell from up above. What could it have been? Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. What? Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was. Yeah, from her saying just a second, while also saying that at the same time. I was able to tell with that level of skill. It had to have been done. Alright, 3PO, right? And the walls coming in. Look, some people would call that a spoiler, but if you haven't seen a 43-year-old movie that's like more popular than any other movie in the world at this point in time, I don't really think that it's my fault if you get spoiled.
It smells awful.
Yeah, it does. Kyoko?
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected. So, you know, you being down here is, like this, is preferable to you being down here with a bunch of, you know, in a bunch of red mush, you know? It's, probably, well, pink mush, but in this game, it's called red because that's just an aesthetic choice, you know? And aesthetic choices are, as we all know, genuine flaws, and if you don't like the fact that lines are slightly grayer than lines in this other anime, then that's somehow a reason to hate the entire anime. Right? Right. Hey, Best Waifu is here with her cute AF hat. That noodle hat is the best. It's the best thing in the game. Cute noodle waifu. Yeah, I can say that. I mean, she's just staring deadly at me, but I guess the noodles add some character. But what are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko, but how? Do you have a key in that cup of noodles? What kind of noodles are there? God, I'm gonna break my neck by reading this cup. Cup... I don't even know what that says. Oh, God. I shouldn't even try to check that. I'm gonna cut off circulation and just kill myself. You've got a bit of garbage in your hair. No, it's not garbage, it's a cute noodle hat. Which makes her a cute noodle waifu. Man's Fantasy 2.0 time. Yeah, I'd like that in all honesty. Again, I make fun of her, but it would give me hope. Given the fact that I'm buried with all the garbage at this moment in time. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash that faced me, then faced me again. No, put it back on. That was a cool looking hat. First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you finish, so like two, those look like, they called them biscuits in the States. And as it says on the bottle, H2O. So nice. Thank you! I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me, but they're just gonna call it bread. Looks more like a hamburger bun, but I guess, you know, buns are bread. They're just shaped differently. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. I eat stuff like 3 to 4 times faster than everyone else, so I can relate. Phew, that really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy, I need to keep going. Explains why I went from being healthy to probably needing to lose at least 10 to 15 pounds. Like I say, I want to be healthy, but if you looked at my eating habits, you'd be forgiven if you thought I was trying to slowly commit suicide. So you still haven't given up, then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at.
Hmm?
Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. Oh, whoa, she's being nice for once, guys. Wow. But that was kind of a cute moment, though, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Not going to lie. I shall not lie to you. Alright. I don't know if anything here is actually important to investigate, so I'm just gonna talk with her. And tell her to put the damn hat back on, because that was a cool hat. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone. Atone for what? Atone? Oh, right, she was trying to get us convicted in the trial, but I feel like she's talking about something else.
You...
Oh, wait. During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. Ah, maybe you shouldn't, maybe you shouldn't be atoning for that. In all honesty, I should be atoning to you as, the first choice I chose was, getting you, you know, killed. So, I mean, I didn't intend to get you crushed by a trash compactor, but, I mean, I'm just... I don't think you need to be apologizing to me. The rocket in the background is from the prologue. Yeah, what was the prologue about? Who was that? Is there any canon explanation? I'm sure it's in a later game or something, because, yeah. Yeah, I shouldn't ask about that kind of stuff, because Danganronpa has 4 games. They'll probably explain something that wasn't explained initially. And if it's not explained, I probably just shouldn't be asking the question in the first place. During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew. Yeah, and I did say something, but I guess, I mean, thanks for thanking me for taking into, you know, taking the other save point as well.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you.
I
abandoned you. I thought she was gonna finish the whole thing, but she just said I, so I just finished what she started, I guess. Don't say that, you didn't abandon me. Yeah, not really. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. Well, interesting thing to be honest about, but alright, I appreciate it. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive? Oh, because of the trap?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive
In other words,
is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What did you come here to do? What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right, at least I did once. Once?
I...
Until recently, I've forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... Characters always say, but that's in Japanese games, like... It's all... I mean, is it the fault of people translating that they always take this particular phrase and translate it as but that's, but... Or do the Japanese always just put but that's after, like, everything? Because I'm just saying, you know, you've noticed that in Japanese media, people say, but that's all the time. And they always cut themselves off. Like, it doesn't ruin anything, but it's kind of an interesting trope. Or, like, girls in anime getting angry and, like, looking like they're trying to blow up a balloon. Like, have you seen, when Maya gets angry in Ace Attorney? I mean, a trope, bruh. Trope. I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible. No, it's impossible. It's possible. For amnesia, bruh. Think, bruh. Amnesia. Amnesia? Yes! 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 You took off your sunglasses. What's the phrase where you take off glasses that made you blind? I don't know. Then, is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
You remember Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at this school? The first thing... Oh, right, she remembered. That's why she randomly said, "What did you do to my body?" Because they did something that was not necessarily inappropriate in nature, just they did something. You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school. I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. Oh, you're finally gonna reveal it, eh? But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Okay, so someone did that to you on purpose, but not to everyone else? Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plan, so it has to be something... like very... what's the word? I can't remember the word. But something that would be dangerous to the mastermind's plan, I guess. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean... No, that revealing wasn't the word. Just inconvenient for the mastermind. Somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and their mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among you, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind. Alright, now she's going to be more suspicious that you had to clarify that you're not the mastermind. I mean, that just makes people think you are when you say you aren't, so don't do that, bro.
I understand.
You understand?
Understand everything.
So, do we finally get an explanation for just what the heck he was talking about then? Because I have, frankly, no clue.
My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Alright. Why did he say that? It's just like that dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh, yeah, it's nothing. No, he's not okay. He's not. It is nothing, right? No.
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. Okay, well, I talked about all I could talk about with her, so I guess I just need to investigate the trash. Gosh darn trash. All of this is just Sayaka. Sayaka's gotten a lot larger, and she's just been scattered everywhere. Is that an airplane? What, an airplane? Did Monokuma kill someone in an airplane as well as a rocket? How'd something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? Good question. I didn't even know that was an airplane. It looks so mangled up. This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. Alright, so... checking over here then. Alright, and I should probably check those bags. Sayaka room, indeed. Just a bunch of trash, like Sayaka. That's a rocket and a tank. I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. Probably not. Probably not. Let's not. There's an unbelievable amount of trash here, like Sayaka. Alright, now the door? I better talk to Kyoko. You said you had a reason for doing all that, investigating on your room. So, how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. Makes sense. She's always been the most, No better phrase than the smartest one when it comes to the investigations. Which only makes sense. If she's the ultimate detective. I don't even... What the heck was Byakuya's ultimate? He was basically just the ultimate rich dude. I mean, I forgot the exact phrase. But that's what he was. Although he's like the second best. I guess. Something like that. Hell yeah, best waifu detective. The ultimate detective.
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. I saw enough of that to where I knew where it was going. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What? What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak, and he did this crap. Kyoko's dad. Is Hope's Peak's headmaster? And that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved.
I'll
find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
No matter the cost.
So...
Kyoko, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point. But when I said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course. Since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind. I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there? Yeah, Kyoko's dad probably did go to get milk. And he got the milk, but he kept the milk for himself, and he also kept him for himself for I don't know how many years.
So...
Explains why she's such a fruitcake. The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know... who didn't know where anything was had been there. Okay. You mean the mastermind, right? Oh, okay, makes sense.
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to invest. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map.
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. Nice. You can use that for Minecraft builds. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. Then I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, the room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized, whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself. And I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important. And really ominous. Alright, so what... Okay, what else is there to investigate then? What can I do? I can't leave. Where am I gonna go? So... It's not like I can change characters. Is there... Oh, good lord. That's... I knew it would have to be large, but this is just trippy to look at. Good lord. God. So... What did I not investigate then? Is there more to talk about with Kyoko? There's an unbelievable amount of trash here. I'll just investigate that all over again then. So I guess just the door again. I better talk to Kyoko. About what?
However,
Of course, once I got to the second floor of the door, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It had to do with Mukuro Ikusaba. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
however,
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed? I wonder if Kyoko and Gumshoe would get along. Well, they're both detectives, but in terms of personality, I'd say they're like polar opposites. And that's like not even an exaggeration to make. Like literally everything that Kyoko does, Gumshoe does the exact opposite way, and everything Gumshoe does, Kyoko does the exact opposite way. Like, they're not just different, they are so fundamentally different that they'd either be best friends due to their differences, you know, opposites attract, or they'd both just be incredibly annoyed at each other all the time. I mean, Gumshoe isn't really annoyed by anyone, but Kyoko would probably be at least somewhat annoyed by Gumshoe.
indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared. And in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? Alright, so it just doesn't get us anywhere. Gumshoe is not the smartest person ever. Not necessarily, no. Yeah, not really. I'd say out of all the characters in the game, in Dangan, the frickin' Ace Attorney, how did I forget that name? I've played that for so long. I'm a huge fan of Ace Attorney. How did I forget the name? Jesus, my brain is not working today. I gotta play more chess or something. But anyway, I'd say if you know, the most similar personality to Kyoko as I can think of from that game, I guess is probably Edgeworth's, I think. I mean, Edgeworth is more explicitly arrogant. He's a lot like Byakuya in that way, but out of like the main cast, I couldn't really imagine anyone else fitting the bill. It's mainly, you know, Edgeworth. Although he's a lawyer and not a detective, it's still probably the most similar. Again, he does share a lot with Byakuya, but if I had to compare to Kyoko to, yeah. The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words,
I was thinking Mia. I think that's her name. Yes, that is her name. I guess probably Mia. The issue is that Mia isn't like a character who talks as much as Kyoko. Kyoko's like has a very large role in everything, whereas Mia's there to help out, you know. But it's not like, I mean, we are given a glimpse of what she was like as a lawyer, and I guess that was pretty similar. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Mia. I guess as far as, you know, them both being girls, I guess that's the biggest similarity. Alright, and then we can just say that Edgeworth and Byakuya are the most similar. But I'd say that Byakuya is more of a villain than an anti-hero. I'd say Edgeworth is more the anti-hero, and Byakuya is more explicitly malicious. Although, I mean, they're both entertaining characters. I wouldn't necessarily call Byakuya a good guy. It's pretty clear. Whereas Edgeworth, I mean, he has two of his own games. So I mean, he's at least somewhat of a hero, but they are fairly similar. The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
hey,
I knew this sounds weird, but if Kyoko was real, I would give her a big ol' hug. Yeah, Kyoko's isn't really violent. She'd probably wonder why you're hugging her, but she'd probably be fine with it. For the most part. I probably would as well, in all honesty. She looks very huggable. She looks like a decent person, you know? Byakuya might, like, stab me as I'm hugging him, though. So that's probably not a good idea. But, I don't know. There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikosaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. And that person was you. I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... during the night? I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. Edgy? The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway.
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room, and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead, so they are the same person.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of a mastermind, in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind,
Indeed.
right? I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right. That is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So, what does it all mean?
In other words...
It means that the mastermind is the only one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro is the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused the event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair?
It would seem...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're...
Indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Wait, what? What? Okay, so what exactly are we going into now, then? The Dream Island rocket, alright, from the very, very beginning of the game. And in here, alright, so what... Are there there are 6 chapters, then? The Ultimate Despair, wait, hold on. I want to make sure that I saved. So there has to be a... What was it called again? Prologue and epilogue. So I heard there were 5 chapters, so I guess this is going to be called the epilogue, although it's really more like the actual climax. The epilogue is usually just where the characters are now, whereas this is just the very end of the game. But I mean that also happened with Layton versus Phoenix Wright, where it's like, they call it the epilogue because it's the end, but it doesn't really function as an epilogue. It's really the big climax stage, which should be just before the epilogue, but whatever. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. Yeah, so a lot of people were actually seeing in on stuff that you guys couldn't have seen if anyone ever changed in the room, like Hina or Kyoko. People watching on the TV were able to see that, whereas you wouldn't be able to. Now, just thought I'd say that. The people watching this, the millions of people watching this, would have been able to have seen more than you guys ever had, so I'm just saying. I mean, that was the same with Chihiro, but Chihiro ended up being a dude, so I'm not really, like, looking forward to that. It was more a personality thing. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. Although, with Celeste, we all kind of got the shaft, didn't we? Chapter 6. So there are 6 chapters, and I just got my information wrong. Okay, alright. Well, Chapter 6, then. So the last trial was not the last trial. It was never actually concluded. Maybe it'll be concluded in the actual last trial. But yeah, there are just 6 chapters. I wish I could have seen Monokuma and Sakura's fight. Yeah, it was pretty epic, but every single second of this game, along with some seconds you don't even need to know about, I have played. So you can go somewhere in the past. I don't remember what episode it was, but it's happened here if you want to see it. Yeah, so it turns out I was wrong. There aren't 5 chapters. And no one corrected me on that because they wanted me to be surprised, I suppose. But yeah, there have got to be 6 or perhaps 7, but I mean, 7 would be very, very short. Alright. Yep, wow.
Anyway.
Right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. Alright, well, look for a key then. Is there anything else I can investigate that I didn't investigate before? No. Nothing on the ceiling. Just very high up and just, wow. Anything else? Just anything, literally anything else. There's got, like, just one, nope. Alright, I'll just investigate the door then. It's locked, but we have a way to open this door. Oh, wait. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room? You see, I thought she was going to say, that one thing. Oh, yes, that one thing. I know a lot about that one thing. Because that's, like, the most non-specific way of saying anything you can ever say, but alright.
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
Alright, well, she said what she said in text, so I have no point in reading. Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Alright, let's do it. Hey, Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right? Again, I apologize if you hear a ladder sound like it's about to just explode in the background, but there are just certain things in this world I wish I had control over that I do not have control over. You know. I can't even, like, I mean, first of all, he was coming up the steps, but now I don't even know what's going on. It's like God is punishing me for maybe killing an entire village in my past life or something. I just, some of the karma I get, what is it karma for? What is it in proportion to? I just don't understand. Let's find out. Kyoko took out that key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. Does that look like something that would actually be able to do that. I mean, I guess that is a very weird design. I guess it could open up a lot, but I don't know. And then, we're clear, baby. Clear. Yes, it's opened.
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Yep, the garbage pit, where Sayaka used to roam. Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Alright, well, chapter 6. As I said, probably the last chapter, but I don't know. I got the idea that there were 5 chapters wrong, so, I mean, there could be even more than this, then I just don't know. Yeah, but that does sort of mean the last class trial was just sort of pointless. I mean, if you think about it. We didn't figure out anything. No one actually died. That wasn't that important. It was just sort of... That's the title of my life. Yeah. I mean, I would make fun of you for being edgy, but I did just complain about irrational karma, so I don't really think I have any right to do that. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel, why did I say tunnel? In a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up to the tunnel. It's probably actually a step ladder, just pre-correcting you. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. You guys are very happy right now, aren't you? You two sickos. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. Yeah, I'm seeing darkness right now. I know it was a joke. I just said that I wasn't going to critique you for it, for God's sake. But, speaking of darkness, it's a good thing that we're only seeing darkness right now up a certain thing. As if we saw more, I'd have to age restrict this again. I almost wish it were the other way, but I mean, you can get killed for saying that, so let's just... The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet behind me. The passage, I don't even know what I'm actually saying anymore. Do I know how to pronounce words? I don't think I do. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah. It's uncensored on some versions. Where are the shadows coming from? Yeah, good question. They only put the shadows there to not, yeah. Well, this is the, yeah, as Mr. Aziz said that it was uncensored on some versions. Look, I'm being serious with you. Link me to those versions. I'm being honest here. Link me to those versions. Okay? Alright, Steam has to censor everything because Steam is Steam, alright? I'd rather, I want to know, okay? Don't lose your footing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Yeah. I don't, if you know what I mean, I really don't think that Makoto would mind if Kyoko ended up falling. After the stream, I may do it. Please do. Not for any reason. I'm not a perv or anything. Definitely not. Definitely not. It's not like I just asked to see uncensored panty shots. I mean, that's not something I'd do. Definitely not. Yeah, I think there's a reason why Makoto's on top. Because Kyoko's not going to be able to see anything, but if Kyoko was on top, I mean, that would just not be good. Well, I mean, it would be good for him, but I don't think Kyoko would like that. Maybe talking will help keep it off my mind off it. No, you're gonna lose. You're gonna not be able to concentrate. Then you'll fall back down. Then you'll fall on top of her, which again would be better if she ended up falling on top of you. So Kyoko, why are they showing those speech bubbles? The other games are less censored. Yeah. Again, I just think Steam. I mean, I know it's censored Honey Pop. There's a patch that the website gives you to download the uncensored version of Honey Pop, because Steam can't have content that they can have pretty much everything inappropriate on there. It's just the really inappropriate stuff that's, you know, of a violence and swearing is okay, but the other thing that the other thing that I'm too Christian to say is something that they're not okay with. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? I mean, she just found out that's what she was. How would she know that, Makoto? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. Oh, okay, well, so apparently... Well, I mean, you can remember as far as since you got here, so, I mean... They came from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. So, like, Avon Karma, you're required to be a prosecutor, and in the Kirigiri household, you're required to be a detective. Is that just how it works? What would be required in my family? I mean, pretty sure we're diverse as far as occupation goes. So it's not going to be, like, that weird if I become something different than everyone else, because everyone else was different from everyone else. But yeah, there was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So,
Right.
because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. I feel they use the speech bubbles just to make it even easier to censor. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains. Before I came here, Before I came here, Wynn was looking up info about school. Wynn was looking up info about the stuff about the school online. I never saw anything about her. Alright, that is a typo. This is the first time I've actually read something confused, and I've been confused for a good reason. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family, and then she forgot about it, which made it even easier to protect her pride. Makoto on 4chan. Yep. It does sound like, look like 4chan. Alright, come on, keep it coming. Apparently my friend kinda knows them. I guess everything there is state-of-the-art. This year's Ultimate Pop Sensation is gonna be going there. Yeah, the Ultimate Baseball Pro is gonna be there too. So jealous, it's only for winners. How can anyone even get in? Anyone can't. Alright, so... I guess he was just reading off... Because the card that he received was labeled 2014. But this is all 2010, which is when the game actually came out. In Japan. But I think that might have... I don't know, but I don't think this is a contradiction because he's reading off message boards. But if he was the one talking here, that would be a contradiction if you think about it. 2010, 2014, but I don't think that's what it is. So I just said something completely pointless.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father, huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about. It's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him, face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future,
However,
but he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. And young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in what I do. I take pride in my family name. Snape, sever your dad from you, bruh. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I would never have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that. What she might have been feeling. Well, I saw what she was feeling, and, She didn't really seem to care that much, so if that's what you were looking for, then there you go. I just noticed he has red shoes, too. Everything else is just black, but he's got bright red shoes. That's kind of weird. Whereas with Kyoko, everything is kind of integrated, except those boots are a bit... Those boots are a bit kinky, if you know what I mean. They've been standing still on the ladder for like 10 minutes. Yeah, are they ever gonna move? All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, he was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. Well, now her expression is emotionless, so that kind of... She realized what you were thinking, and she decided to stop. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However,
but there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing. But with the... Oh, frick. How do I stop doing that? When the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me, even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
What?
That's why I have to find him. And tell him that we're no longer family. In order to settle the past... excuse me. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family? To just cut him out like that?
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul?
Hey.
No. Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Good lord. Why do they even have that ladder there? Imagine going down that. It's scary enough to go up that, but to actually go down that, I mean, I'd actually just jump to get it over with and just end up dying. Well, actually, no. Well, they lived, so with Danganronpa logic, I'd live, but yeah. Yeah, as long... Yeah, you know, some games and stuff are illogical, but as long as they're consistently illogical, then it's fine. But if you suddenly go from having to do something in a certain way, because that's how you do it in real life, to falling from a building and living, then that's not good. But if it's consistently unrealistic, then as long as you're consistent about it, then, you know, you establish a world and you don't break the rules. The, very, like, loose rules in, like, a fantasy story, but rules nonetheless. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. I have a feeling that it won't be that. But I could just be wrong, and expecting something more than this game is actually planning to offer me. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... Ah, that's what that was. Looks like we're back. Okay, so... You just throw trash down there. Alright. Interesting. Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. Alright, let's close that. This is how we got out of the garbage pit. I never would have imagined that's where this led. Yeah, that would be horrifying to look down if that and you didn't know what was down there. This is the trash room, the dump in other words. But to be honest, I don't think I've seen anyone throw anything away down there. So, now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Then let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you if there's a problem with you escaping. Good lord. Wait, that's...
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time until we are found out. And it's not like we can run away. And she said that, and as she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't.
Because
the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
So...
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was.
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Alright. Okay then, so just to the gym then. They all think we're dead. Imagine if we just came into the room and surprised them now. Again, as far as they know, we've just been killed, so, I mean, that would be an interesting surprise. Very interesting. I never really thought of these as actually being benches, but, I mean, this entire time, you could just sit down under the green light. Although that probably wouldn't have been a good idea for a while. But now that, most people who could actually kill you are dead, I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to just lie there.
Well now.
Hey. Yeah, I'm not even gonna, read that off. Kyoko, I didn't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead! What is he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party's exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko, do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However...
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
Now,
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose? You, explain yourself. What do you mean by that? Oh, God.
because...
Well, you set up this latest class trial for yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
In other words...
I was supposed to be chosen as the blackened and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
However...
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
Right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
You reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation, no more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you killed it.
am I wrong?
Now, here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro, you did.
Listen to me.
So expecting Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto?
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence?
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk to me like some kind of famous detective type?
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to
However-
inspire. But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased.
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. You have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what we have to do.
then I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But, what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Barry?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes. Now, what you said suggested might be possible. It would certainly make for one honey of a
in
climax.
other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely
Let's have one
contain
final
myself.
grisly showdown. He agreed. And we still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
But that is the long-awaited climax, right? This is. Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting ending.
Guys!
So for the final face-off, you'll have to unearth the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries. That's right, even every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain myself!
then that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you.
it's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
Guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all that, well, I'll face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that, for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement? You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations. Having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that. Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception? Then it's part of the regulations? Which would have to mean that whoever killed Mukuro, Danganronpa is filmed in front of a live studio audience. It is. It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. The only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why do you go quiet all of a sudden?
Now
I'm done talking! I got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would ya? Seinfeld 2, Trigger Happy Havoc, indeed. Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable. Good way to put it.
Hey!
Leave me alone, get out of here. Okay, I'm going, You're really gonna let me go? I don't really care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto, let's go. Okay. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. Alright, so it's been just over an hour. I do have more time to do this, but I'm getting a bit, I don't know, burnt out, I guess you could say. It's been fun, but I want to just go on with some other stuff, yeah. Again, I really did not expect there to be frickin'... Good lord. I did not expect for there to be that many episodes. I honestly thought it was 5. But no, it was 6. I mean, it makes sense. I didn't expect the 5th trial to just be super duper long. Well, the 5th chapter, that is. But, yeah, it's getting good. I know, but, you know, that gets people excited for next time, as well as, you know, it makes them want more, so they come back for more, you know? It's a good tactic, man. Probably not good if I explain what the tactic is, and it feels like they're being manipulated, but, you know, otherwise, it's a good tactic, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, this is getting good. It already got good, but, like, now it's especially getting good. You know, you always think it's getting good, but it's not. Oh, send that one, you mean the link, yeah, send it in there for, the other Kyoko lover, and send it to the gamers chat as well, because again, it's not that I want to see uncensored panty shots, definitely not. It's for research purposes, you know. A school project. I have no other points, but it's definitely not because I'm a great big perv, and yeah, later.